We're going into season 2 of Twin Peaks.
Twin Beans.
Twin Beans. This episode is called the something giant. I forget.
Called
Was our boy showing up?
The Giant.
Was it a
May the
Yeah, I'm
giant be
pretty
with you.
Ah,
sure. Oh,
May
and also
with
with you.
you.
So
And with your spirit.
there's going to be some kind of giant in this episode. If you remember our
Some kind
last
of time.
episode that revolved around Twin Peaks, after a little hiatus to jump into Blue Velvet, it ended with kind of a cliffhanger with poor old DB Cooper, Dale Cooper, Dale Bartholomew Cooper, getting shot in the tummy as he opened the
Yep.
door to his room. So yeah, it ended there after there was a big fire that happened. There was a bunch of stuff that happened in that finale. From what I recall, somebody else got shot through a window,
Yep.
and that was kind of interesting. There was a fire, and Jacoby got beat up too, right? Did he get beat up?
He had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Well,
Yep.
yes, he got assaulted, which
He got
led
beat
to
up
him
by a
having
cart.
heart attack. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah, he did get assaulted and then heart went boom. But
So yeah, we're gonna see where that leads us onto this next episode, and I just wanted to try this because the YouTube algorithm is kind of funky now. So be sure to like and subscribe and leave a comment below. And just for shits and giggles, I wanted to say that. I don't normally say that because I don't really like to do call to actions with our videos and our content, but I saw
get it in the algorithm there.
a lot of people that say like and subscribe at that same
Yep.
instant that you put that in your video. The like, thumbs up or thumbs down button highlights, like it kind of pulses
Oh,
a little weird rainbow outline.
interesting.
So yeah, I've noticed that on a few people that when they start talking on their video and they say like and subscribe for more content like this or something like that, that
Yeah.
the button does a little thing, little animation. So I just wanted to test that, see if
In
that
the
works
end-
for us.
Yeah, in the end, it helps us with the algorithm too. If they do that,
Yeah,
if you like, comment, and subscribe.
they do like saying that because
Guys, give us a hand with this algorithm. It's just being a handful.
This algorithm, dude.
this Al Gore rhythm, he's gyrating all over the place.
Yeah.
Oh, watch your gyrations, Al.
So yeah, hopefully I don't want to keep doing that because again, this platform is for kind of these broichy boys to get together and watch interesting
Yeah.
things and discuss and just talk about things and deep dive into all the different medias that we kind of consume as individuals, and featuring those
Yep.
with each other. And so yeah, if you connect with this stuff or if you like Twin Peaks, definitely stick around. We'll discuss it. Leave comments below on just Twin Peaks in general, your favorite episodes, whatever. I mean, we'll go through all of it. Hopefully, we'll get through all the other supplementary material in the future if we can somehow digest all that info. Or
Yeah.
The-
Streamline it or something.
Yeah, I think safely we can probably bet on covering at least like Fire Walk with Me and The Return fast because
Oh, yeah.
we're starting season 2 now, but I think it would be safe to assume that those two things will be covered at least.
Those two for sure.
yes. So without further ado, we're going to jump into season 2.
Season day.
And I'll share my screen for my broichy fellas. There we go. Get ready to sing the song, boys. It's been a while since we sang the hymn. Let me know when you're ready.
I had to post something in Command Center, but
Okay, I'm glad you posted that in Command Center.
I
Oh.
that's a Hatsune Miku.
Oh.
Season 2.
Drinking season 2.
People might be dead, but Hey,
Kevin.
Marlena,
Oh,
was this season
in
2? James Marshall.
Washington.
Marshall, Jack Nance, Kimmy Robertson,
Jameson.
Ray
Water.
Wise,
I
Rock
John
water into
Channing,
the
know
array.
Eric DeRay.
where
Let's see how different
then
the cast looks now, because there is a. If you
I
remember the
go
last
horse.
season, they looked kind of prim and proper, but I think Kyle MacLachlan grew his hair out a little bit, so you might see a little shaggy mop on top.
Yep.
Yeah, he starts getting a
Shaggy
ducktail.
McGlock, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah, Shaggy McLaughlin.
Shaggy MacLachlan,
Yeah, cut your hair, Shaggy McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
MacLachlan down into the loch.
Yeah, better cut your hair, McLaughlin.
McLaughlin on
Growing
the
your
clock.
hair out, your locks, growing them out, MacLachlan.
Angelo Badalamenti.
Dwayne the bathtub, I'm drowning.
Robe.
Kevin Young, Jr.
Kevin Young Jr. Oh, she's still fucking playing.
Yeah, that's one way to end it. I mean, I like these kind of endings where there's some kind of extra visual thing to go along that kind of had something to do with the episode. Like in that one episode where the tiny dancing man from another place was just like jiving, he's just like,
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Cooper's dream that he's just kind of jiving to the music as the credits played.
I remember that happening in The Return, where like it's just the roadhouse and Jacques is behind the bar and somebody's sweeping in front of the bar, and it's just like it happens even before the credits, but it's like they hold on like an 8-minute shot of
Yes,
just
I
somebody
remember that
sweeping.
too. Yeah, he's just sweeping the whole like confetti off the ground.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, if that scene of her playing the piano wasn't in there, it's probably a good thing that it is in there, because otherwise that's a very, very impactful and I don't want to say traumatic, but like shocking way to end the episode.
Yeah, that was like, well, it was hard to watch that last kind of those visions, and then that girl kind of looking like she was being possessed, right? Like, she raises her arms up, and then she's just like starts convulsing, and she's like, Laura, 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 and she's having visions of homeboy just going, "Rawr, rawr."
Yeah, like she was clearly in distress and not having a good time, so that was hard to watch.
Yeah, she's like just, yes, being possessed, or is there some kind of like residual like after effects of this traumatic situation she was in, right, Bradshaw? Oh yeah, 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 I get it.
Well, if what we're seeing are the visions that she's having, then like she's having visions of Bob and stuff. So who's to say that there isn't some lingering like psychic connection or some kind of like connection there still?
Yeah, there has to be some. There has to be something to do with what he's like going through right here. I think I know what's going on with him for sure. Something is being. They're two opposing forces fighting against like control of something.
Well, this looks like, because this is just a quick flash and we're holding on it, so we're able to get like a really good look, and it looks like they maybe are trying to make this look like the inside of a train car.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that I can like understand what's happening here by by what I know about the show and what they've told me.
Right. So we got into this episode. This was a doozy of a jumping into the second season. What a great way to intro this prolonged, like, dire circumstance of like where we last left off Cooper. He's bleeding out on the floor.
I brought you warm milk.
Yeah, and he's like, I know you, or I've heard about you,
I've
and
heard of you.
gives our boy a thumbs up and a wink, a really strong wink too. Like, yeah, you
The
know
way
it.
that he like gestures when he does the thumbs up and when he winks, it's like he's doing it with like the greatest intention of being like, okay, and now you do it back to me.
Yep, I'm wanting you to do it back.
This is a thing you should reciprocate. But
Please, please, please.
what I noticed something where like the old dude, he comes back like 3 times, maybe 4 times, right?
Yeah,
And then the because he keeps like it seems like he keeps forgetting something, but then he keeps just giving like a thumbs up or winking at him.
yeah, just giving him a little nod or like a. There you go.
And the giant does the same thing. Because like the giant is like inhabiting this old man. So I just find it interesting that the old man like is forgetful and like has to reappear in the doorway and like re-enter the room to Dale. And the giant has to do the same thing. He's like, "Oh, I forgot to tell you something."
Yeah, and I liked the giant a lot. He's a really interesting character and made the giant be with us all because he has some really cryptic messages for Coop to kind of follow and relate something to the case, and kind of tells him to take it piece by piece and not just kind of, at least that was his last message, was like, you make the path by putting the rocks down individually, one by one.
Yeah, a path is made by laying one stone at a time.
Yeah, so his direction is helping Coop out with whatever kind of new experience he's gonna pursue.
Really like this shot here because he is giant to the audience as well. Like we are literally at his feet.
Yep.
But he's kind of talking to us as well because what like for people who maybe watched the first season or like got turned on to it by their friends who were like, oh man, season 1 was really good, you should watch season 2, it'll be airing Sunday or whatever. He really does a good job of like laying out this checklist of all right guys, mystery time, here's things to look out for, a smiling bag without chemicals, he points and he gives people like, ooh, here's things to think about and water cooler stuff to theorize about.
Yeah, that's true.
And he's like, when the things that I tell you, when they appear to be true, you know that I'm right. So it's to us too to be like, hey, watch out.
Yep.
Welcome back to the mystery, everybody.
Jeez, Bradshaw, calm down. I know it's really exciting to talk about the giant. The giant is with you right now, I can tell. He's talking to your dream soul.
Nodded.
Nodded. I know I'm talking to a dream soul when I get the nodudes. Other things about this episode were kind of interesting. We got a lot of answers. Everybody seems to be at the hospital. Everybody's hanging out at the hospital. The only person we didn't really get to spend time with, let's see, I'm trying to think. Like, a lot of people came back from the previous season. I guess, did they ditch the plot of Bobby's buddy with the cool hair? Is he not? He wasn't in this.
He's going to be in the show again, but he wasn't in this first episode.
Right.
He doesn't show back up until Nadine starts attending the high school.
Gotcha. So he wasn't in this episode, but he will make a return. Who else do we kind of not get to touch base with from the previous season?
Well, I mean, Josie was completely absent from this episode.
Yep, Josie.
Catherine wasn't in the episode.
Yeah.
Leo wasn't in it.
Right. But they were mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's presence is still felt because, like, they're talking about, oh, Leo Johnson, Hank, or somebody shot Leo. Everybody's getting in now that, like, there was so much tomfoolery at the end of season 1 where, like, people had all their schemes going and then the schemes started crossing over with each other and people, like, started getting pulled into each other's stuff a little bit more. This is like the police are getting more involved. It's now everybody's wires crossed that it's like hard to have somebody not feel like they're involved. Like the stuff with Shelley and Leo, Bobby's connected to that, and James tangentially, and
Right. But we did get scenes with like I was trying to see if in this episode. I mean, it was definitely a longer episode. It was It was a movie length, really. But it was we got a lot of scenes with all the characters from the previous season, and we get to touch base a little bit with where they're at right now and what their motivations are. Because I was thinking of Bobby's dad, the general, and like, even he got some time to shine, and that scene he had with his son was just really, beautiful too for their relationship and things like that. So we even got that.
That's an interesting scene for a few different reasons. One, I think it's good to like have an early appearance of General Briggs again, to have him like when he shows up later on in the season becomes more important to what's going on with other people. It's not so much of like, oh yeah, this character did exist. The dream describes, as I believe a lot of people are reading that as being his description of seeing the White Lodge, like Miller's white light radiating from within, feeling of familiarity and etc. Which is just an interesting aspect, because like we get to see the Red Room and hear about the White Lodge and Black Lodge, and we only ever see the Red Room. We don't really see the few locations that we do see are not the Black or White Lodge proper. So it's interesting to hear him possibly describe that.
Yeah, that's true. And we do know from the return and things like that, so like what his fate is and how he makes an appearance in later seasons and things like that. What that means.
I don't know that I could tell you what that fate is, but I witnessed it. But like I saw it.
I know what I saw. I saw something happen, and he peered through some kind of veil.
Yeah, I could probably tell you like what I think my understanding of it might be, but I don't know.
He's definitely a very like, his character seems very solemn, very kind of relaxed. It seems for a general, like he seems super like out of some kind of other world. He's not the typical general type or archetype. He's just really peaceful and
so
yeah.
He Major Briggs reminds me a lot of like, he does a lot to connect the original series here with the stuff in the Secret History, where it talks about one of those Milford brothers who was part of Project Blue Book and a part of the military, and worked with like the CIA and investigations into extraterrestrials and UFOs and all kinds of stuff. When he ended up like ending his career, but still being vigilant and still watching a lot of this stuff and still being active, and he like settled down in Twin Peaks, he ended up taking on Briggs under his wing and being like, hey, here's all the stuff that I've learned about, I'm working on. You continue working on it in your deep monitoring station. And it's very clear that he knows a lot of like secrets and a lot of things that probably would shatter the mind of all these innocent rubes sitting behind him in the diner here. But he's had the best little moment here, just piece of pie. It's a very simple thing, and he's loving it.
Yeah, and I do agree with like with maybe he's putting on a persona to kind of hide the truth for everybody in this simple town, and he wants to preserve the wholesomeness of this town and not like divulge all these secrets. That's why he says to his son, after he's asked like, what do you even do, he's like, that's classified. Like straight up, just I'm shutting it down. Classified. It's
like a separate part of himself that he like has to like turn off when he's not on the job.
Yeah.
When he is on the job, he's like, okay, time to investigate the mysteries of the universe.
Yep.
And then other than that, it's like, son, I like these huckleberries.
Yeah, these huckleberries are great. But he's got those two. I guess they're two different lives. You know, like he preserves one life that he likes to kind of tie him down to earth, and then he has this other life where it's just like, all right, now we're getting some freaky shit. Like you gotta prepare yourself.
For sure. Oh my
Wow,
god.
this guy's going nuts. He's talking through his dream state right now.
He's journeying out there with Major Briggs. He's like, "Bring me with you. I want to go to space."
This whole sequence too, I really enjoyed with the donut pan, panning over all the events of how they're piecing together that evening, of that fateful evening. That was really an interesting way to do it. And like we've talked about before, donuts are a prevalent means of like putting the puzzles together because you know it symbolizes all these different things as like a circular things, and just how to come to conclusions and stuff like that. So donuts are always present when big things
where were
are.
they at the beginning of this episode? There was like a scene with Dale and other people in doing an investigation.
Oh yeah,
Crime scene or something?
they're at the TV.
Was that
They were at Leo's place right here.
Yeah, at Leo's place, right there where they're doing the very first shot at Leo's place. On the foreground countertop, there's two donuts just sitting right there. It's right behind this guy.
Yep,
See him
boom,
there?
donuts.
And we find like the crucial, well, a like important clue with the boots later on. So if it is definitely signaling to me here.
And look at that foreshadowing there, the puzzle pieces behind him, putting the puzzle pieces together. They framed him perfectly with a puzzle.
But I think with the giant, they were trying to be clear with their communication of like, all right, we did season 1. We've learned from that. We've learned what you guys like, what we did well. We're ready to go second round. And they're like, the best way that we're going to do this is by laying one stone at a time. So just come with us, watch episode by episode, and don't worry about it. It's just going to be one thing at a time. You don't have to. We're not going to dump 18 different revelations on you at once or anything like that.
That's a good point.
They may be strange or silly or stupid in some people's eyes, like what the stones or the revelations or additions might be, but.
Yeah, and I'm just noticing this framing too, like when Hawk came in and gave that coat or whatever, his duster. They shot at that kind of low frame, and that reminded me of the giant. Just there's something to that shot. Like this shot here is like we're showing a weird perspective of them being giants. You know, it's like, is that deliberate as far as like production goes? Like, since the giant, we had that one scene where we're looking from his feet up to his head. He looks very imposing, and that shot there was kind of replicated where these guys are imposing and they're putting together these pieces from the crime scene.
These three characters we're seeing in that style of framing, like these three subjects that are being shot that way, they all loom large over the presence of this show, the presence of this town. You have a federal agent and the sheriff and one of his deputies. Mm-hmm. And it also seems like a production artistic choice too, because it's like, okay, we could shoot this where we're doing like a maybe typical medium wide where we're seeing waist or belly button up of all of our people and just some of the wall behind them. But somebody noticed like, oh, the set designer did a really great job. And we've got these gold geese on the
the gold geese.
Them. So if we put the camera down here, we can capture a big space all behind them and get like good colors playing and other stuff. And in that shot, they got the portrait or whatever it is of that like mountain man, which I love.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, I like the stylistic choices they've been making, and not just Andy walking like a duck, but like the thumbs up is great, but the stylistic choices as far as like framing, and hey, we got this guy, Little John's logging right there.
Hey, we're watching Blue Velvet again.
Yeah, the logs even made an appearance.
Well, that's this. That guy right there is a perfect example of the weird shit that they start doing, of like the tennis match, of the smoking barbershop quartet. This random, we cut to a scene, and the very first thing we see is this man we will never ever see again screaming, "Man, that's good pie."
That's good pie.
The fuck?
Yeah, that's definitely that Lynchian touch.
It's a weird town, and 100% Lynch. I definitely read into his stuff as being like, oh, if this is different or weird, like with that framing, if it's noticeable, it's probably intentional to some degree.
Yep. I agree.
To what that intention is, I don't want to begin to posit, but
He's just he finds interesting perspectives, I would say, from like, I want to show my three fellas like this. I want to feature them looking very imposing because they're putting all the pieces together.
they're the big honchos. They're gonna solve the mystery. I don't know. I think he probably just makes a lot of small decisions, or not him specifically, but a lot of the things, very, very small details that come together. The framing, the music, the acting, the script, so many of these different small aspects come together to create that greater thing that pulls back with its mood and its the things that we about it, and personally inside of ourselves. It's like, without that framing and all those little things, it wouldn't be this show, and it wouldn't be as special as it is.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And
I want more shows to take time to let their characters walk like ducks, and
just stick with that too. Like, let him walk a few paces and like keep going.
we're gonna do the whole episode like this. Third episode of like no dialogue, Andy just bumbling around town like store after store, and people are like, "You okay, hun?" And he just smiling. Goes back out.
I think that's a good the last thing you were just talking about. That's a perfect way to end this episode, because there is a lot to talk about going forward now, knowing the giant is introduced. We have to yet to see a lot of other returning characters, and characters like new characters are going to be coming into this season too.
The one-armed man made a short appearance and then did not deign to appear again in the episode.
That's right. Yeah, like earlier I was saying, who didn't we like see? So it was really hard to like pick, because it was like, yeah, we even saw the one-armed man just for a little bit, and he had to.
They got more screen time than like Leo and Catherine and Josie.
Yeah,
because she at least appeared in a hospital bed.
Right. But anything else to add? Bracho's Dream Soul?
We lost him halfway through, I think. He
Yeah,
was going strong.
Oh, he said what's that? Dream Soul?
The Dream Soul's pretty happy.
Yeah, okay. That's
Dream
great.
Soul happy.
Yeah, Log Lady's here, spitting out her gum and shit. I was like, man.
Yeah, she got her little like brooch or I don't know what that little wooden leaf and acorn thing she's wearing is amazing. I love her whole look and her outfits and everything.
Yeah. That's great.
I don't know what, some kind of librarian.
She's going to be
librarian.
She's going to be my thumbnail.
Librarian.
Somewhere here she's going to be my
find a good frame of the gum midair flying through the air.
Oh, she hits mustard.
Yeah, she does.
She got that mustard.
Look at the face she's making too. Yeah. She's like, yeah, you take that mustard.
You fucker.
The log says, fuck you, mustard. But she takes one drink of coffee and then puts it in a new piece of gum. And Norma says something to her at some point about like, hey, it's great if you want to come here and blah, 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 but you need to stop putting your disgusting pitch gum on my tables or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So that leads me to believe that she makes her own gum out of pitch, out of tar, or like tree sap.
Yeah, that's a xanthan gum, or gum. It comes from some kind of tree that.
Yeah, but her husband was a lumberjack logging man. She lives in a log cabin out in the woods. Like she just seems so. She uses every part of the buffalo. She just anything to do with trees. She's like, I made pine tea. I make my own gum out of pitch.
Yeah, gum Arabic, I think. Probably is it comes directly from branches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can harvest it from like sap or like little chunks that come off of branches and tree trunks. But yeah,
Harvest you from sap.
what was that, Dream State?
Harvest you from sap.
Purpose pufum sac.
Just beautiful.
Sure.
Pugilist purple tap. I'm just excited because I know that it's gonna get extremely weird with like Dale's old partner and Annie and stuff with Hawk, and it's just gonna be a good old time.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Super excited. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this episode of Twin Peaks Season 2, Episode 1. Do you guys remember the name?
May the giant be with you. Of course I remember. I didn't sleep through any of this episode.
And also with you.
And may the giant be with you all. And don't forget to like and subscribe and comment below what your favorite part of this discussion was, or just talk about Twin Peaks. Favorite characters, favorite scenes, favorite dialogue, favorite anything. Just let us know in the comments. Thanks so much for joining us, all us Fargonauts here. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Goodbye. Good night.
We